Cars 3, released in 2017 by Pixar Studios, the conclusion to the Cars trilogy. I'll admit, after a weak second part, I did not have great expectations, and then the film began, and for a good half of it, I would be rather unamused indeed. The story this time around is that there's a whole new generation of racing cars, and Lightning McQueen is beginning to fall behind them. A question arises whether he is capable of still racing at the highest level, or maybe he should retire. Of course, Lightning himself believes he is still young, and so he begins a special training regimen with the help of a trainer called Cruz Ramirez in order to prove himself once more, to prove to the world that he is still the champion. Now, that premise sounds awfully like the first movie, with just a little bit of mirroring, where Lightning is kind of in the shoes of his old mentor now, as well, Doc Hudson. Lightning is, again, a bit arrogant and needs to beat his shortcomings to be able to win again. And so the story goes, following the expected and familiar beats, until it doesn't. There comes a point where the movie goes in a little bit of an unexpected way, at least for me, it was unexpected, and suddenly it turns out that all that came before was not really a rehash, but a setup for this new situation. I won't say what it is, obviously, for fear of spoilers, but I think it's a rare scenario where for a lot of the runtime, you wonder what is the point. But towards the end, the movie manages to redeem itself and wrap things up in a very, very satisfying way. Of course, there's an argument to be had whether or not the film takes too long to really get going, to get to that important point. For me, it was fine, it was acceptable, but I can see people saying that it's too formulaic for too long for it to be good. But then, again, you have to remember that this is mostly a kids' movie, so I think the younger audiences would be more accepting of this. In terms of animation, I think the movie is one of the least flashy ones from Pixar. The only really noticeable excellence for me was the sand and mud effects, because I think we haven't seen those animated at this level before. Overall, as I said, Cars 3 takes a good while to make its point, but it does eventually, and it sticks the landing, managing to right the wrongs of the second film and bring the whole trilogy to a satisfying conclusion.